What's up, guys? What's up, girls? It's your boy, Kamal Hart, on the chart, and we're going bar by bar. Um, Kind of an update from yesterday. I've been traveling this week, so I've been at my desk a lot less than I would like. And today's one of those days where I traded pre-market, and I was pretty much done before the open. So that was cool, but there were a lot of nice opportunities during the day as well. So I wish I could have taken advantage of some of them. But either way, I want to hop right in it. So first thing is this big down move. We're seeing the two legs back to the EMA, and now it's looking like another sort of move down. So that's cool. And we're going to get a measured move. Maybe see if we end up somewhere down there on this trade. Or not on this trade, but on this price move. Um, Not the most convincing stuff yet, but similar to yesterday, we can see if there's a trend line working somewhere in there. That'll be our other target. That little second entry, that one worked, but it was right next to the lows, so um, it's aggressive. It's not even touching the EMA or the trend line, so that's aggressive. I'd be careful. Let's just get a midline in there. Aesthetics, bro. Okay. So you get a nice little push. We're coming real close to this measured move. Haven't quite gotten there. Then you get a failure right there. Um, you know, it just as it moves strongly like this, we just need to wait for this pullback or something that we can use as our entry. Here you get that first entry. It's okay. And then here's where I took my trade of the day. I was basically expecting prices to break below this bar in a sort of downtrend. Although we kind of had a measured move. When I made that measured move, I only measured from this high to these lows. But you could also see this little lip. You could maybe add that in there. I mean, you could even add from up there, but I don't think that one's as relevant. I think these two swings are the more relevant. And if you bring that one down, you still have a little bit on this target. And I think this is the target I used during the trading session. So we're kind of close to the lows, but either way, I'm expecting to scalp out a little bit before the lows anyway. So it's not going to be that big of a deal. We're not quite touching, so that made me a little nervous. But second entry, big downtrend. I'm gonna try it out. And then on this bar, when it set this bar up, I like that one because this signal bar isn't super great, but I like how that trigger closed. So I entered on the limit right there, 30.90. Boom, I'm in. Boom, my scalp hits, and then boom, my 3-point stop hits. In fact, the prices moved so fast that it hit my order, but then it exited. It shows it exited on this next bar, but I still got out for 3 points. So that was like that trade took 4 minutes. Um, you know, 4 minute trade. Just under $200. So that was a pretty good trade, especially if I had to get on the road here pretty soon. I wasn't, I was like pretty happy with that. I was like, all right, dope. But prices continue. Um, Another thing I saw, this is a double top right there. So this break above, that's kind of like the lower high, but it's right at the lows. Too risky. That was the failed second entry. Another one that I thought is aggressive. I think this works. And a big thing about trades, like I screen them before I do the review, but I don't always remember what works or doesn't work. So what I'm trying to do is focus on calling out the trades when I see the setup. And if it doesn't work, usually I can explain why maybe you would have skipped the trade. but nothing in trading is 100%. So I'll text her on my phone. Nothing in trading is 100%. So you can never um, you can never know for sure that a trade is going to work. Sometimes you're just going to have to go with the probability, and the probability of taking this is low, right? Taking an entry there, see how that's red bar, doji, kind of a doji again, pretty low. Not really where I want to take trades, but today it works. I would say that it's aggressive, so we can make it green. It's there, but it's really aggressive. Unlike this one, this trade wasn't as bad. Remember yesterday I was talking about how I'm trying to get a piece of the bigger moves. I really wish I would have held on to this second contract a little more. So far we haven't had a swing above, so that could be my reason to still be in until we get a swing above. I could be in the money pretty big right now. Moving along. Now we get this push higher. Get some congestion here at the trend channel. That's kind of the breakout lower, first entry right there, doji signal. Here is a trade that I saw that is another aggressive trade. See that little lip? It's kind of like a little lip, second entry. It's close to the low, so it's dangerous. But a lot of price action is saying that we're in a downtrend. So you might risk that. That would have gave you some nice trades. And see here, there's been no swing above. So even from up here, if we're talking about trade management on this contract, I would have been in until we get a swing past the previous swing, and nothing broke below here, so there's no swing even though these bars are higher than this green bar. Nothing broke below, so this is the swing. It keeps going. So I mean, I could still be in on that one contract. I need to manage those a little better. Getting them some more stack up at the lows. Here's a second entry short, but this might be too aggressive. You know, it's totally going sideways. It's clear there's some congestion right there. You're going short at the lows. I don't know if this works, but that's the one I think we'll skip because it's just too much. Yeah, and that would have failed. And look at that little oh, it ticks one below and then fails. So I thought there was a reversal pattern, but it ticked below. So yeah, not the place you're looking for that second entry. So we're below, we're above, swung past the previous swing. Let's just see what we get if we make that a little micro trend. Here's our breakout, and maybe we're going to get a retest of this high. Yep, we get a retest. Since it closed above, let's just see if it goes for a measured move. That'd be our target for the measured move. That broke above, and this is a that's a failed second entry long, but or failed second entry short. You know, tried to go lower once, then twice, and then when it broke above and turned around, if you enter there, you would have lost because it closed below. But of course, our signs are if it breaks above but doesn't close above, that means something sketch is going on. The other thing is that on our trend line, we already had a break and a move to a new high. So we need a second entry long if we're going to keep going long in that context. Those are the two things that keep you out there. Quite honestly, even though I drew this trend line, you know, we still, you know, don't forget we've been going down. So if anything, this might be a break, move to a new low, but that volume, that magnitude doesn't match all this. Sometimes really what we could be looking for is that this is a leg. This is a leg, and it's kind of pulling back, and maybe it makes another leg. So I don't really see the pattern I need for that bigger pullback yet, but potentially there's something way down there, way, way down there. So that pushes below, above, now we're below, broke a previous swing. So let's just get this one down too then. And then right there, if we break below this bar, I'm interested in going short, seeing if we can, test these lows. And you do right there. So that's a good place to go short. That gives you a nice easy move. Let's see if it makes it to the lows. Oh, it goes to the lows, to the tick. So that would have been a nice easy move. You probably entered or exited a tick before the lows, or when prices broke above right here, or you're going to try to swing trade it now and see if you can get some lower swings. But once again, you have a trend line, a break outside, move to a new low. That's a lot closer to a measured move, so be careful. And honestly, you're getting some support. It's starting to bounce a little. See, that's another kind of, see that failure and a reversal. Too soon to go long, but it is kind of looking like, okay, maybe there's some support or a range. A range is going to be in play here pretty soon. So we'll visualize it and we'll get that on the chart. And get that down there. And then just so I have a high, I wouldn't say this is confirmed because I only see one, there's maybe two touches. So yeah, that would be our highest. Then we can work with that. So let's see if this range plays any roles for new trades. Now that we're in the middle, I'm careful. I don't really want to trade the middle, even though I feel that there's a failed second entry coming soon. I really want to focus on selling at the line and buying at the lower line. So I probably am going to skip any trade that's not on those outsides, to be honest. So that pulled back. That pulled back. Kind of a double bottom, but to the high, there's nothing going on yet. You wouldn't be in. See, that's doji. That's all sideways. Nah, it's nothing. Another kind of like a second entry short, but that's not a good signal bar. At this point, it's kind of like messy, so I'm going to wait till we get like a breakout or a clear direction. And kind of like yesterday, we got this big move down, and now we're kind of in this range. So really, I want to buy. I want to buy somewhere down here, possible. That breaks below, but there was no way to really enter that. But now at least you're getting kind of the breakout and then a move to a new low. So that price action's playing out. Keeps going. Nothing you can do there. First entry. Okay, here's a failure off that high, and then again off this high. So that's just a lower high first entry. Signal bar. Nope. Can't do it. But you look at that target. We only really had one short. But if you look at this target, I mean, we are still got a way to go. We still got a way to go, but it's making some progress. Okay, so we're kind of thinking about shorts because there is kind of this trend now coming down. But we need to be careful where. So like right here is a failed second entry short. We're not touching the EMA. We already kind of had our breakout because another way, maybe another way I would see it is like this. Oh man, where did we? I hope we went the right way. Nah, we went the wrong way. Kind of know what happens now, but either way, we'll still go bar by bar. Um, it's just a risky place, for better or for worse. There's a lot of lower momentum, but it's a risky place to take it. So we wait. And you would have got just enough. So haven't closed above the EMA, but we're making a swing past. And if we break above, like there, let's see if there's a trend line that we can create right there. Here's a second entry short. Today's confusing because it is kind of moving. It's moving both ways. So, and I think where I need the most work actually is figuring out how I handle these breakout of ranges. I think the most simple thing is let's expand the range and see if that gives us a good target and see how that's almost like a perfect target. So at the end of the day, to keep it the most simple, because I think sometimes trying to find the right trend line when it's giving you a break and a new leg and then two legs down or whatever, the simplest thing is just keep expanding your range so you know your extreme. So all I know is that I want to buy down here and sell up here. Um, but I do want to see it bounce because it could just shoot right past because we're still in a downtrend. So here's a second entry short, but it's kind of, so let's just say that it's there. And I want to leave that trend line just for the sake of fairness. But either way, if this is our new range, we're going to be on the lower side of our range going going short. So we can't do that. So I think that's, see, if this is our range, we're going short on the low side. Got to skip it. And it fails. So, like, good thing you skipped it. And then now, that's the reversal pattern once it ticks above. Let's see if this one is going to give us what we want. Want to buy, get our scalp, maybe see if we touch these highs here, and then see maybe we'll touch this other line. That one doesn't go very far. There you go. A nice little push. Then look right here, trend. It's not a convincing break, but for sure you get that two-legged move. See this? Red bar, green bar, red bar, two legs. So two legs hits the EMA. Nice bull signal bar. It sucks. This is just the first entry. I think an aggressive trader sees this and knows what this is. Because I see this a lot. This little double push to the EMA, then sets up with a nice bar. But that's a little outside of our rules, so I don't want to emphasize that too much. But that's a pretty reliable setup. Yeah, today I have time. I'm finally done traveling. Tomorrow I head back home to Los Angeles and stuff. So like I really want to be thorough. These are really just my personal notes. The the exact thing I would be thinking if I was trading. And the dope thing is that I did trade today, and I only needed one trade. All this is extra, which I do care to catch sometimes, but you don't need to find every trade. One trade, I'm doing pretty good for the day. So this is just for the exercise primarily. Mental gymnastics, so to speak. So I'm just going to extend the lines a little bit so we have a clear visual of what we're working with. We're going to keep it moving. Okay, so the breakout, we're moving to a new leg. So we are expecting prices to come up here. So we're going to need second entry longs, but also let's see what this measured move is. Let's see what this measured move looked like. And that at least will give us another target to hold till. None of those are quite entries we can take in this scenario. And then now that we're on the high side of the range, we need to be careful until we touch and turn down, or we get a second entry off the EMA, something like that. Nah, not it. This is so weird. This is kind of a trade, but up down bar, that ain't gonna cut it. So we're gonna have to skip that one. Here, and give me 1 second. I need to answer this call. Hello? Okay, I will meet you outside. 1 second. Okay. That was my Uber Eats. If y'all give me a second, let me see if I can get someone to bring this in for me. Okay. And you see how, yeah, you took that second entry in that congestion, and it hasn't failed yet, and then it fails right there. So it fails, you know. It's congestive. You're going long on the wrong side of the range. You know, it's like, it's so subtle, and it's like, oh, well, there's still a lot of space. Yeah, but that's where the probability really changes. The probability is going to be way better down in here going long. So either way, keep it moving. See, you get that kind of like a breakout. Now it's pulling back. So now off this low, we want to see if we get any cool setups. Not quite. Not there either. And it's kind of moving down. We had a breakout. The reversal pattern happened right there. So I don't like using this congestion in the middle, but you know, there's like a trend line right there. And then we can move it to the lows right there. And that one breaks right through, because there's also another one. That's why I don't like using the range when I make this trend. I like taking the breakout pullback, and whatever move comes after that pullback, I like to use this one. That one's a little more reliable because it's going to be a dramatic spike. But there's more to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here and make a second part video, and I will cover the rest of the day. So if y'all just give me a moment, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had a little dinner break. Schedule is different nowadays. Okay, so I think we were over here. We were talking about how I like to use the kind of like this breakout trend. It's a little more reliable than using these swings if there's congestion in the middle, like congestion is right there. Let's see. Maybe one way that might work is that if you get that and then you see it's breaking out, you can maybe measure the distance and then see if maybe if that holds, it's probably a valid trend. But this one will probably give you better entries. So that's the first entry. Nothing there. Here's a failed second entry. You know, if you're looking at the overall trend or the overall range, we're just in the middle. Kind of hard to tell what's going on. I would say that off this trend line, we're getting a reversal pattern. So that's a sign. And since we're in the lower side of the range, I think going long is better there. The issue is that we do have this channel going down, but in my head, since we didn't really come down to this lower end, maybe you can see that as a it broke outside and now we're gonna retest. Down goes. So yeah, probably something more where if you do use this channel, it broke out and on that retest it continues. Or if you use this smaller channel, you just get a reversal pattern. So you're looking for it to come back to these highs. So either way, that kind of gets you in there. And once again, back to that idea of when you get that range, go long down here, go short up here. That's the best way to really handle these areas. So now we get that breakout. I guess we'll give it a trend line. But you can see how now there's a trend down, no retest, there's a trend up. Honestly, that's looking more like a spike. So I'm just gonna see if I can tighten it up a little bit. Get it there. Yeah, a little tighter. A little breakout. It's enough. Maybe not super convincing, but it's enough. A little breakout, move to a new high. I mean, another interesting thing that I'm seeing, see this leg. This could be leg 1. And then maybe this is leg 2. And you're right there for the leg 2. It's kind of like there's a leg up, second leg up. Pulling back. Get a little first entry. Here's a lower high. In theory, I mean, that's not a terrible trade. Off these highs, not quite up there, but this isn't a terrible trade. Lower high, got some room to the EMA, not much though, but see, like when it broke below here, that's the reversal pattern. I have no idea if it works though. That's the reversal pattern, but it's going right into that EMA. We're not quite at these highs, although these highs aren't necessarily like set in stone. It has to go up there. Maybe they're a little lower down there. They could be, but there's a reversal pattern right there. So I think the only thing keeping me out of that would just be the fact it's going right into that EMA. But, you know, you're on the right side of the range. Yeah, you're on the right side of the range. So short on this side, long on this side. And I think if you see it turn down like this, I'm probably gonna try and compensate for that. Probably move my stuff down, and then here, maybe it's here, something like that. Close enough. So right there. Now we have another trend going down. See how that price action holds? It's real nice. That's just the first entry to the lows, and the failed second entry was right there. So hard to go short there, even though it looks really good. And it fails. So here's a like a first entry to the low. It swung past. So right here, it's kind of a no man's trade. I'm just waiting to see what it'll do. Here's the higher low, but we need to see a reversal pattern. So if we break above, we got the reversal pattern, but we're on this upper side of the trend, so we need to go short off a lower high or failed second entry short. So like here, it's just a big bar. It's a pretty big bar. I'd be a little cautious maybe going short there. Another thing that I'm seeing though too is that we are making higher lows. So like from this low to here, and then if you bring it up to the top side, you kind of get something like that. So maybe there's a trend right there. And if that is there, we're kind of in the middle of it. And that kind of holds like good with price action rules because you have a trend, it breaks out, it moves to a new low, there's some congestion, and it's reversing. So I want to get long maybe over here down off these lows, but just maybe too big of a bar to go short right now. It would have failed. The second entry long was right there, but that wasn't a good signal bar, red bar off this high. First entry, second entry, but that wasn't really a good signal bar. But if it breaks below and then goes above, there might be another entry. But see how this move goes lower than this move. So now, to be honest, we're in a congestion area, in my opinion. It's kind of getting caught up all in this area, so I'm just waiting. And now we finally get this move back down to the, here's a funny thing actually. Here's a second entry short, right, off this low, which swing lower than the here. First entry, second entry, good signal bar at the range highs. See this little range? At those range highs. Given the context of this trend, maybe you wouldn't be as prepared for it, but that's a little hidden one that if you saw it, I mean, that one worked really well. So I could say that's aggressive, but you could probably go short right there, second entry short. Now we're looking to get long off this trend line to see how it responds. That's just the first entry, so we're waiting. Here's the second entry. I think that's an okay trade, but it's a really strong move. I'd love to see it retest that low and fail. But there's a higher low off the trend line, so let's see. Oh, that doesn't last. And it kind of looks like it's going to stack up a little bit, but that would have got stopped out. 75. Actually, on a limit order, you would have just gotten out on a limit order. Barely gotten out. But now we're getting that stack up, so let's wait to see a breakout pullback or something so we can go long. That's the higher low, but we're getting that congestion. There you go. And we're getting that stack up. And you kind of see like kind of the issue with any of these longs is that there's still this really strong trend and there was no retest of the low and there's been no reversal pattern because this went a little lower than this one, so it resets. There's been no reversal pattern. Something really, even though we're at the lows of this channel, those buy signals, maybe this one, and that was risky, and you can see it really would have costed you. And then look at that, break that low. Now you get a good bar, but that's the first entry to the high. Here's a second entry to the high, but it's an inside bar, a little aggressive right there. Would have worked. And then here's another like lower high sort of entry. But on those lower highs, I like to see it not break the previous bar. So when it broke that previous bar and it's already kind of big, a little too aggressive. So maybe we just give it a like a trend line, but maybe not the place to buy. And that worked really well. Yeah, just that setup. It worked, but darn, not really the setup I like to see. So I might have had to let that one go. And then here's the failed second entry, but look at that bar inside of that bar, inside of that bar. So that's congestion. And we're not even by the EMA. If we bring this line over, you're probably coming off the tops. You're probably coming off this side, not where you want to go long. Let's wait. That one works, but it's okay. Now you kind of get this two-legged to the EMA. See how it rejects. That's your first entry. pull back. He's kind of a second entry long off the EMA. First break of this channel. Not a strong signal bar. Maybe let's see how the trigger bar is. And it never breaks above, so no harm, no foul. It's another one if it breaks above, but now we're starting to get some momentum down, so I want to wait on like a higher low. That's a nice trigger bar, but the signal bar would have been here. And it's kind of the same issue maybe that you saw here. It's like a repeat. Second entry, signal bar is okay. I don't think it's technically in our strategy. There's already been good trades. I probably am going to skip that. And if the momentum is down, if we were above the EMA, possibly, like here we were above. I'm expecting it to go higher, but I'm just going to wait for a better entry. That one does really well. That broke above, but that was a bad signal bar. You shouldn't have been thinking about getting long there. And then here's that same pattern. I've seen this pattern 3 times today with this doji and then the big engulfing signal bar. Here's the second entry long. I think this one fails. And I'm trying to see why. This might be one of the ones that, it's the same reason why you didn't enter here, and it sucks because I guess it worked both these times, but when you look at it, that doji is your signal bar. Yeah, see, that one would have failed. That doji is your signal bar. So it's not really a good entry. And if you get in on a limit, let's say you got in on a limit right there, 79, 75. Probably a 4-tick fail. You probably didn't get out. Yeah, probably didn't get out. So that's what keeps you out here, is if you didn't take these trades, or if you took these trades and made money, then maybe you didn't take this. But if you were using that same principle, this like doji, big engulfing signal bar, it's technically not a setup. So you get a kind of a breakout. And if you look here, we kind of have a breakout and we're getting some legs up. Possibly this is your leg one, and it's forming leg two, maybe. So either way, we're going long and we're looking for higher lows, failed second entry longs, like if it breaks above here. Not enough. It's just too congested. Let's just say that. It's really congested. So whether it works or not, it's getting really noisy. And it does work. So I guess you could have had that. Let's say it's aggressive. It's getting noisy. And it's not really bouncing at the same place on the lows, but off the highs, maybe somewhere in there is where I see the resistance. As long as there's room to there, I guess you can get away with it. Pullbacks. Here's your failed second entry long when it breaks above, but it doesn't go far. And that's back to this idea of, see these highs where the resistance was, you would have bought right into that resistance. Not a good place. All these highs right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you would have been buying right into that. So that's a really advanced and subtle thing, but that keeps you out right there. You see how close you are to these highs, and it's a little risky. But first entry right there, and then it pulls back. Once it breaks above here, that's a second entry. And it's one of those trades where the failed second entry fails, but then gives you a good bullish signal bar. Those usually are good for money. And you're going to go for your scalp. You're going to go for your target of the high. And if you're bold, there's a target up here somewhere that you could also go for. I'm not going to show it because you'll see all the other price action, but there's one way up there to the moon. That one does okay. Pretty good. There's your higher low. Not a great signal. Your failed second entry, kind of a breakout pullback. It's a big bar though. I'm not convinced it's a good. It's just too big of a bar, let's say. From 84.50, 82, too big. So you have to enter on a limit. You got to get in a little back, maybe 2 bars back, 2 ticks back. So 84 flat or better. So if you're gonna enter on a stop, nope. But if you enter on a limit, maybe. And like at your limit, let's say you got in 83.75, you easily got in and you got out. So if you entered this correctly, which it seems like even if you hit the stop, like even if you do the stop, you're 1 tick away. That didn't tick through. We got to see it tick through. Okay, it ticks through. Okay, right there. So you would have been fine, but it's a big bar. Money management says, hey, you need to get in a little bit back, and you could have done that here. So if you enter it like that, that's probably okay. I'm on the East Coast, so today we're going to end at 3 o'clock. So we still got like an hour and a half or so. So now it's just creeping up. Kind of back to my thing where I need to work on my strategies. You know, when we have the bigger range, broke out, new leg, we're making a measured move or on the way to the measured move. Charting this part of the chart gets a little tricky. So I like to just keep it kind of clean as possible. Maybe there's a trend here because I get the most touches. But you don't get really many touches off the highs. So I'm not 100% on this little smaller trend in there. And that one shoots out anyway, so it doesn't seem to be of much help. Let's just expand it so we can get a visual. So maybe there's another line up there. Here we're getting a pullback to the EMA. That's your first entry. That's your second entry, but it's congested and not a good signal, so you're waiting. But off the lows, you need one more. And it goes further, so it gets reset. See, that's why all these longs they're not good longs. Off the fly, there could be leg 1, could be a leg 2 there. So maybe when we get down here, we could buy. See how we get? See that? That would have kept you on the right side. That's what I say. But look, if you look at it, then maybe it's just hard to read, but it does fit the context, right? Because you look at that and you say, okay, there was a trend. It broke out the high side, and when it came back down, it broke out the low side. That's what we'd expect. Nothing strange about that. Just a little hard to see it real time. I don't really see any good trades that it helped you get either. About 30 minutes left in the day. I think for sure, let's consider this a some sort of trend. So we need a breakout, retest, or reversal. Some congestion. That might be our breakout retest. So let's wait for reversals. That's the higher low, but we need to wait on the reversal. It broke below, so let's look for the second entry long, but it's 3 o'clock, so I wouldn't force anything really past here. I'm good. I'm cool on that. There's the higher low. Let's see if you get a break below. Nah, it jumps on you. So yeah, I mean, you didn't really get the entry I want. See how that broke above? But it's kind of high. It's dangerous. It would have failed. So that's kind of what I saw for the rest of the day. Just a reversal. And the full day kind of gives you a picture like that. It trended down, broke out, congestion, and there was a reversal trend. So it's a little sticky in here, especially if you're being a little impatient. It's a little sticky up in there. And you have to remember to pay attention to where prices are showing resistance. Try not to buy on the wrong side of the range. That's a big key, a real subtle key, but super profitable buying on this side and selling on that side. And then for myself, just to improve, I should have held this trade and swung it. I could have been out maybe down here, got an extra 5 points. That would have been nice. But I'm pretty happy that I got in. At least I was participating in this down move. That's step one. And the rest of this week, I want to work on actually holding past the swings if I get the opportunity. But that's it. That is December 3rd. It's Tuesday. I'm going to be back again tomorrow. But until then, enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, work hard, and live with passion. It's your boy, Kamal Hart, and we're out for the day. Catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.